line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up. Finger to the sky and a green light shining bright. The only thing I have in mind is the finish line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it.
Good evening, good day, and good afternoon, everyone. Here of PTM Racing TV, we are live here tonight for Martinsville Speedway for the next running of the East Coast Racing Circuit Super Late Models Division, live from Martinsville Speedway here tonight. This is the closing weeks and laps running down as we are ready to start the show. Hi again, everyone. I am Christian, the Crusader driver, and welcome back to the show as always as we get ready for the action here for the Super Late Models Division. More on the little story on these guys here in a minute, as well as the series in just a minute. But first, as always, let's start it off down here on the pit road. As you see pit lane side on the front stretch, these drivers are already set and ready to do battle. Here as you see Rick Spencer Wallet on the pole. He'll start it off in the 31. There's outside, it'll be the number 2 of Carter Casey. Row number 2, it's going to be Paul Jerky. In the 5 is outside, it's Justin Lawson in the 20. Row 3 is Brandon Coleman in the 54, and his outside, it's 51 I should say, and the 4 of Steven Naylor. Final starter, Brian Doty in the 17 to round out the field for this first action-packed adventure of racing. We are set on the grid, we are set on position, and I'm going to be giving you guys a little insight on what has changed and what is going to come down here tonight. These drivers are battling some changes here at Martinsville Speedway, a track that, you know, generally I would have thought it would have been perfect for these late models, super late models especially. But this is a race that I think might concern a few folks. It might actually be a bit of a difference maker for some others. The reason I'll get to that is right now, this is a different style, different look, different feel of the super late model division car. And we'll show you that in just a second. Here's the driver's lineup right now currently. As you see posted up on the screen, you're getting a good look at every driver and how they look, how their car is, their appearance, and yeah, there is a few different ones out there that do not look the same as they used to. Usually you've seen some really cool designs in these guys, some awesome looking rides. Well, they had to change it up a little bit because they didn't have time to get these new rides fixed up and new styles in. As you can see, the super late models are a little bit different looking now, aren't they? That is because with this iRacing update that happened back on March 9th of 2021 here, if you're watching from the past, or the future I should say, this is literally designed up and refurbished to experience more of a different taste in the late model culture. And these drivers are just going to have to work with what they've got and how they do. I'll get you more into how they feel here in a minute as the green flag flies out. We are underway. And apparently the producers are having a little bit of troubles on our end too. They forgot to change something around here. Hold on a minute. Sorry about that, folks. We didn't realize the producers didn't change that when they were supposed to. That coming down across the front straightaway here, battling them into the position zone here, down out of turn 1, down in turn 2. I guess for those that are new to iRacing, by the way, you just heard my spotter talking there, so our apologies. But hey, at least now you know what my spotter sounds like around here. Going their way across the field here, down out of turn 1, down into turn 2. Here they go. And you can see Rick Spencer-Wall has the early advance, the early run, seizing the opportunity and making his runs as much as he can here. Taking the onboard camera here, Steven Naylor already having some problems here. Naylor completely spun around out of turn 2 here. Something gone completely wrong for him on his end. We'll ship it over to the PTM Instant Replay and find out what happened here, but something is not right for Mr. Naylor in that Ford car. See what happened here on the PTM Instant Replay, see where everything went wrong. Looks like he came out of turn 2, everything seems fine. He just overdrove it and brought it up a little too quickly, and car came to a sudden halt, and he just had no chance to get it back underway there. Unfortunately, that will slow down his momentum completely, and that will set him back a few nicks and knacks, if you will, and hopefully he'll be able to bring it back later on, but he's definitely faltered behind a little bit. And speaking of faltered behind, a bobble there from Rick Spencer-Wall ends up costing him. And he is going to be passed in there now. Carter Case makes a pass in there for the race lead. Paul Durkee followed behind. The 5 Motorcraft catching up there with the 2 of Casey there, the Budweiser machine. Tries ahead of the old Ford Fusion Motorcraft 5 there as you see them pacing their cars down around on the front straightaway. Cornering back down in. Now, I mentioned earlier about the look and appearance of these cars. Yeah, the difference is really it's mainly that, but there's also a big change in the feel for these cars. In my opinion, not the best feeling in the world, honestly. I actually prefer the original feel of what these cars used to have, not the new feel, but I'll show you guys what I mean here. Here is a little look on the dashboard cam. Here's how the actual wheel looks and stuff. As we're on board here, Rick Spencer-Wall. It seems like just any other day super late model car, but trust me when I say it, it's not. It really isn't. The feel of it to me is just, it's very, I don't know what's the word to look for. I think it's just extremely tight. Like it used to be where the late model cars, they used to feel exactly just like the super late model cars did, just with a lot more speed. And to me, they were perfect. Now, I don't know what it is. It just, to me, it just feels like these super late models now are just, I don't even know if I want to say this, but it's just they're kind of out there. Like they're just not really, they're almost like too stiff and just not able to really figure out how to set them up just right. But I mean, again, that's my personal take on it. You guys let me know in the comment section down below what you think, whether you're watching this on the YouTube replay or you're watching this right now live on Facebook. You guys let me know, because right now, currently, the drivers seem to ignore me all the way through because they're running some pretty good laps and some good runs around here, holding their position in and holding themselves out. Here's the pace laps right now and how the laps look. Darky right now still trying to catch up there to old Carter Casey. Carter's having a run and a half here. He got to lay down his fastest lap there on lap 10. You see that little green spot there? That means he laid down a fast lap. And when you're bad fast on this track, that means something. Brian Doty in the 17, he's following way behind the field here, but as we go on the onboard camera here, you can see it's not for a lack of trying. I think he's feeling the same pressure I was feeling when I was running these things earlier today. It was just, they are hard to handle and they are hard to get down the same way that the old Super Late models did. Now, again, it's not saying these cars aren't workable and they're not ways to get around that. My theory is, and my thing I'm always going to tell people is just these cars, the way they're set up and designed, it's just literally you have to start from scratch all over again to have to figure out how to run those kind of cars. It's not a bad thing necessarily, it's just a different thing. That's the best way I can explain it. I don't know. I will say though, everyone gives a lot of crap, gives a lot of dirt to this dashboard and the wheel. Honestly, I like the way it looks inside there. To be honest with you, I think it looks all right. It looks pretty cool. The only thing I just can't say, like I said, is that feel. It's the only thing I've had struggles with. But right now, currently Brandon Coleman, he's trying to get a little bit of a feel on the track and on the rear end of Justin Lawson there on that 20. Lawson trying to hold him off, trying to stay ahead of position. You can see the runs that Coleman was getting earlier on is not quite pushing as hard as he was hoping for, I feel. And he's trying to get it back now. Take the static cam here, you roll him down across the front straightaway. And you can just see all that power, all that momentum these drivers are carrying through those corners. Pacing themselves around, moving their way through the field. Trying to outwit and outdo the other on these tight corner bank turns. It's not easy to run this kind of track with these kind of speeds, much less these kind of cars. And these drivers right now are doing a pretty good job holding out to what they have to do. The Budweiser number 2 though, Carter Casey, is your race leader. It really hasn't really looked back at all yet. Hasn't even thought about trying to think what's going on behind him. I think he's just been so focused on running his line there that it's been the last thing on his template or on his area. Something we did not look at earlier on though was how Rick Spencer Wall got passed in earlier, so we'll take a look at that real quick with our PTM instant replay. And this is how it happened. Spencer got a little tight off a turn 2 there and then opened the door up completely to the 2 drivers there of Durkee and Carter Casey. And this was your pass for the race lead earlier on. And that's where that battle settled in early, and that's where everything's just kind of settled down. It's been kind of a guessing game on who's going to be able to outwit and outpace the other. But that's really how it plays out around here all the time. Short track racing at its hardest. Short track racing, in my opinion, probably at its best. I'd say Martinsville. You know, as much as I give Bristol some scuff and I love that track, I honestly will say ever since I jumped over to iRacing, I've actually preferred Martinsville as my short track rundown place, because to me it's just like this track has got something special to it. I know it's very difficult and hard to master, but I think that's the beauty of it, is that you don't have those banked areas, those banked turns. All you got is literally just that one line really, which is to try to corner off of. And in turn, you got folks that are trying to bump and run you, trying to move your way out. I think it makes for great racing, to be honest with you. I think it makes for some good battles and some unique styles of types of drivers and racing coming together. And we've seen with the Cup cars before that it's very possible to make some good runs here. Taking an onboard camera here, Carter Casey, you can see still holding the Budweiser, grab the Buds, number 2. Ahead there of the 5 Paul Durkee. The Motorcraft Ford Fusion still without any run or any gander there. Just trying to push his way through. It's Stephen Naylor, and that's 4 getting a little bit of lap traffic. Slows down the field, and unfortunately, I don't think he was trying to do that, but he looked like he got the recipient end of his damage earlier on. Slowed him way down in that field and lost a lot of ground and momentum. Taking on board here with the 51 Brandon Coleman. Coleman right now, maybe back in the pack here in top 5, but hey, he's still fighting. He's still running out there, and that's what matters. The 51 obviously having not the best 2021 season. Obviously, had to go through a few tough times, and I talked to them earlier today, and I told them flat out, man, you got to remember, you still have you still got a lot of folks falling behind you, and you still got a lot of people there with you to the end. And he knew what I meant. He knew what was going on, but I think in his heart, he definitely missed a lot of time and a lot of trainings on the track. And I think, in honesty, he's just glad to finally be back with his friends, his colleagues, and the people that help him create, help him keep going with this racing business. And that's something I think a lot of people keep forgetting, is that there is a lot of heart and a lot of racing that goes into our world, goes into the motorsport industry. And family is probably the biggest thing that most people forget whenever on this track. So right now, Paul Durkee in that 5 Motorcraft Ford Fusion, still trying to find something here around Carter Casey in that Budweiser number 2. To grab the buds as well. He's grabbing the track and a few buds out there. He's not giving any room to any of these guys right now. He's not giving anybody a chance out here. Rick Spencer Walt was the race leader to start this one off. He fell back 2 spots early. And since then, Durkee went up a spot, so did Carter. That's really all it takes around here, is that one little bobble, that one little mistake, and the next thing you know, it's impossible or hard to find a way around him as you see a 31 of Carter Casey, or excuse me, Rick Spencer Walt get completely loose off turn 2 and almost deja vu from earlier. Lost a lot of momentum, a lot of ground there. Obviously still looking for a little bit of help and a little bit of performance into that car. He's trying to get it going. Go on board with him. You can see him work the wheel in that bottom left corner of your screen. He's not exactly giving it anything up yet, and especially with Paul Durkee and Carter Casey right there. You just know there is some runs and a half coming. As we now hit the onboard camera, Durkee here. He is catching Casey though, that's for sure. Carter hasn't exactly ran away from this one yet, especially from this field. As you can see right here, you can take a look at how much the changes have done. Durkee had a run on Casey for quite some time. Casey, I believe, was just trying to block and trying to defend him off, but it wasn't to no avail. And now looks like the 5 is trying to pierce the veil, no pun intended, to the band, and try to give himself a run and a half here. Rick Spencer Wall now starting to close a little bit on that gap as well. Looks like he might have a few positions in ground in. Lap times show it. He stayed away from Coleman here. Brandon Coleman had a run and tried to push it up, but unfortunately only 2 laps is not enough to make a run around here in Martinsville. You need at least 10 or 20 to then make that big move. The 5 there, you see how Durkee just trying to stay ahead and away from Rick, because he knows if Rick gets an opening, he's not afraid to take a chance on it, even if it's going to end up costing all of them here a little bit. Now granted, these are great drivers and they are very respectable drivers, but when it comes to a short track like this, there's no gimmies. You take or you get or you don't. He knows this. He knows he's waiting for that opening. He knows he's looking for it. Speaking of the back of the pack right now, here you go, a little battle here from the rest of the field. Justin Lawson, the Black Beauty number 20. He's been in victory lane here before. He knows what it's like to win. Trying to get up to the interstate batteries, number 51. The hashtag driving good 51 machine. Trying to stay as far away and ahead here of the 20 as we go on to our little chase cam here. See a good look at just how close Justin Lawson really is here to Coleman. It's not exactly running away from him here, but at the same time, he is getting momentum off those exits and getting momentum off those pushes. So right now, out of turn 4, you see a little bit of a bobble there from Lawson, and the Black Beauty number 20 almost lost completely all his momentum there, but manages to rekindle and respave it. To restore the power up on his end and manage to keep it going. We're on the left rear corner cam here of Paul Durkee and the Rick Spencer Walter in that Gamble number 31 Grand Prix you see in the sights. Not too often we see an old Pontiac out here, folks. That's one thing you don't see too much. I do know that in NASCAR racing. For those that don't know the story, Pontiac used to actually be a part of NASCAR to a lesser extent a little while But when they weren't running the designs and cars you see today, like the Toyota, Chevys, and Ford, which are the main three, it used to be you had Pontiac, Dodge, Chevrolet, Ford, and I believe Toyota came in very late in the season. I think they were under the Michael Waltrip era, weren't they? I think when Michael Waltrip Racing came into play, I think it's when they opened it up. And Ford right now having a little bit of trouble as there the bill forks up. Number 5 there, Paul Durkee goes way wide out of turn 1, opened the door up. The Rick Spencer Wall, almost like a thief in the night. He's like, yeah, I'll just sneak right in here. Thank you very much. Takes away the positions, it takes away his run he had, and now all of a sudden the tide has changed. Spencer has a run in position, has the field in play. As they bring it right down to the back straightaway they go. Here around the corner, you can see the lights just blasting this place up, man. This is a huge track when you think about it, but the lights here are just phenomenal. Awesome looking designs here. So Brian Doty and Stephen Naylor have both gone laps down. Unfortunately, it appears they are having some car trouble, so they will be out of the race now. So we're down to only 5 drivers left. And a bit of a tough break there for those 2 drivers, unfortunately. Justin Lawson in the 20. Trying somehow, some way to possibly get his lap. Trying to get his position back. Not necessarily trying to get his lap back. He doesn't have to worry about that just yet, but he knows Carter Casey's coming up on him. Facing around. Ooh, a little bit of contact there on Brandon Coleman. Lawson giving him a nice little tag and a half there. I think he was just trying to tell him, like, hey, bud, I know you're here, so thought I'd give you a little love tap. Coleman seeing he has a little bit of trouble because Lawson has a bit of an opening. A little bobble there from the 51. Gets him a little loose off that exit. Now can Lawson succeed and take it away? Not off that corner, he can't. Couldn't quite go. Look out, down the back straightaway, up into the wall protection goes the 51. And all of a sudden, Justin Lawson makes a big run for it, but here comes Coleman right back at him. Wow. All of a sudden, he just fires one haymaker right back at him. He got into the wall protection. Lawson, though, is still up on the high bank middle zone. He left a lot of room open, and Coleman, man, give him credit for credit's due. At least he tried to fight back and fight back quick. He did. I believe driving the old Chevrolet Camaro design on that 51. That could have been all for naught on Lawson's case. He about lost that lead and position on him. And speaking of running for the lead here, the 31 Camel, number Pontiac, Rick Spencer Walt, now closing in there on Carter Casey in the Chevrolet. Casey trying, and I mean trying to put the boot and put the foot down on this one, but the old Camel does not exactly go away. It's just like any bad cigarettes around here. They never go away until you're done, until literally everyone is done with them. And good luck trying to get everyone to be done with them, because that's why the Camel number 31 is still rocking and rolling. Trying to hold it in, folks, tonight. This also one lone Canadian on the track right now, and just so happens to be the guy in second place at 31 of Rick Spencer Walt, the only Canadian in the field tonight. We're used to seeing him and Kyle Jackson running around here, but Kyle was not able to make the show here, unfortunately. Hopefully we will see him the next time we get back out here for some racing. Obviously him, and of course, obviously him and Rick Spencer Walt, good friends and good allies, obviously. Tough drivers on the track, and definitely ones that like to put up a fight, but mass respect to him, though. Mass respect all around to him in this case. Justin Lawson in the 20 Black Beauty, still staying ahead of that ass tag, driving good. 51 Chevrolet Camaro. Coleman right now, I think he's just trying to find anything he can, or trying to find one little rip or ground. But it does not seem like that's going to be the case here. He's now already 1/3 of the way in. And his time is starting to lapse quicker and quicker by the minute. Let's see if we look at the lap time here for Durkee here against Lawson. And Lawson actually is gaining some ground here on Durkee. Durkee hasn't exactly ran away from this one yet. So the battle for third could ensue here soon. Although that lap was not very, it was very telling for Lawson. Lawson seemed like he was backed up a little bit in those corners and seemed like he slowed down quite a ways. And that definitely hurt him a bit. Well, let's take it down now to our little dashboard cam and show you guys what these drivers are running in speeds and how their momentums are playing out. There it is on the bottom right corner of your screen, barely hitting up to 200 kilometers per hour. For those at home that don't know that kind of metric, I believe that's about 167, 168 miles per hour in our American terms, if you will. Going on board here. Look at that bottom right corner of your screen. That's what they're running with. That's what they're dealing with. And Carter Casey getting a little love tap there from Rick Spencer Wall. I think Rick wants a piece of the action here. He wants to take over the race lead. Try to make up for the issues he had earlier. He's fighting. He's giving it everything he's got. He just can't get that run on him. Brings it back down around out of turn 4, and this is just going to be kind of the killing of the tail here. Rick definitely has some speed and some mobility under that thing, but it is not kicking in the way he would like it to if we go back on board with Spencer. Carter Casey and Rick Spencer Wall putting up a fight and putting on a show, despite the fact that they're one of the only 2 of 5 drivers out there on the track. You know, you gotta say your peace of mind when you need to, but you can definitely say these guys have not given anything up to either one. As you see now on the leaderboard where we're at and where things are going here. Unfortunately, like we said, Doty and Naylor, both drivers are out. Mechanical problems for both of them. Naylor ended up crashing there on out of turn 2 here, and he just had so much problems that he just could not get it refired and refixed up, and that's unfortunately cost him a bit of a chance and a half there. And now coming to the halfway point, it's all but over with. And Doty, well, I'm not really sure what happened to Doty. I know he was struggling earlier, but I think what happened was when he fell a lap down, I think that's when he just started realizing like the writing was on the wall, unfortunately, and decided just to park it for the night and hope to live another day. I'll go on board here with Lawson. I'm going to try and give you guys a little track tech talk on how to run this track as well as they need to. So you're going to see him coming around here out of turn 3 into 4. Notice how those tires have already kind of burnt in quite a bit already, so they're pretty hard to handle and pretty hard to control in. What you see right there as he exits, as he's about to enter in, you notice how quick he gets that car to go straight to the left. Watch this as he comes off exit. Right as he's setting it up for that run off exit, he is literally jamming the throttle in, and then as he's coming off, he's having to get the brakes up, get things taken care of. The more he taps that brakes though, the more it's sending the car to the left because the rear wheels are spinning right. So it goes like this, kind of like a dirt track racing where the tires go right, your car goes left. So it's basically rear to the right, and wheels need to follow back where they're going, otherwise your front end goes to the left. Well, there ain't no different in asphalt racing, and that's the exact same thing you're seeing right here. And that's why these guys have been so consistent, so eager to hit their marks every time. Casey's not giving anything up, man. Spencer Walt's doing what he can, try to get a run on him, but you know, the problem is, that's another problem about Martinsville that makes it so interesting, and at the same time makes it such a pain in the butt, is that hit is so hard to pass here. I still remember, it was a race back on NASCAR Heat 4, I believe. And I was in a race, I had some long time good friends I was battling out there with, and we ended up we had a pretty good show for what I thought. Quite a few wrecks, unfortunately, in between, and I will admit I was part of the reasoning. But like we drove him in hard, we were driving him in quick, and you know, to everyone's credit, nobody was giving an inch, and nobody wanted to give anybody a chance out there to lose. But I think what set the men from the boys was just those exits and those runs. And even I would say some of the women from the girls is that they would have a lot better runs coming off those entries than they would exits. And unfortunately, they wouldn't be able to figure out how to get the brakes in time, and ended up hitting someone in the rear. And that was kind of the biggest issue you saw out on the track. Obviously, here in iRacing, you want to be very, very careful about that, because it is so easy to make a mistake around here and hurt your car up more than anything. On board here, Brandon Coleman. This is something we talked about a lot, but you saw earlier there with Justin Lawson and a little bit of Carter Casey. And obviously Spencer Walt's obviously doing it too, but you notice here with Coleman, he's lost a lot of ground, a lot of time up, but you notice something different to everyone. Notice how much that wheel is turning. You've seen earlier they were maybe making about maybe about a 12 to 11 a turn. Here Coleman's going from a 12 to about a 9 of a turn. It's almost a 90-degree angle. And the reason why that is here is because his tires are so burnt in, so hurt, he can't get the car to turn in the way he wants it to anymore. And it's completely nullified and lost all his momentum. And speaking of nullifying, lost all the momentum, all of a sudden it appears up front we have ourselves, for the first time in a while, a new leader as Paul Durkee and Carter Casey all entered into pit road. Spencer Wall will take advantage of it big time. Fast halfway point here as he's got this run on. Little overlay botch on the producer's ends. They're known for doing that around here. I apologize in advance. Coleman, I thought, was going to possibly get one more little gap on Lawson there, but looks like he has decided not to. He wants to go into pit road, try to get things fixed up a little bit. So Lawson in pit road, Coleman is, Carter Casey's still in there, Durkee is just about ready to get out. And now Rick Spencer Walt enters into pit road. So their top 5, the drivers right now that are still in it, are in pit road at the moment. We'll see how the race comes out to be. Carter Casey's going to get out first. We'll focus in on him here on this restart. Alright, now he needs a little bit of a push, a little bit more momentum under the hood, and I think he's going to have a good chance to take this one over. Durkee's still in there for quite a bit of time here. It looks like he might have had to serve a black flag penalty. And it looks like that was the case, because he is now back out on the track, but a little too late. And that opened the door up to Carter Casey. Carter right now has just now laid into this one. Rick Spencer Walt, though, managing to get out a 3-second lead on him. Whoa! This could get interesting here. You see Rick, he's already on the front straightaway. He's got that momentum built up. He's bought it back, and now Carter. I would not want to be in Carter Casey's shoes right now, because now Spencer Walt just kind of outsmarted him. But how much fuel did he take? Did he take enough to survive the rest of the race here? That'll be my biggest question for later on. Justin Lawson currently in the 3rd spot right now at the moment. We're going to show only the top 5 in this case here for the rest of the night, because that is where currently our drivers are at and where they are positioned out in. Reason being is because currently they are all either a lap down, or they are literally out of the track. Brian Doty has yet to return to the track, so has neither has Steve Naylor. Unfortunately, both drivers have completely just stayed away from the spotlight. I think they're done for the night. A bombardment of runs and a bombardment of battles, but now Rick Spencer Walt, I'll be honest, kind of in the catbird seat right now. He's getting pretty comfortable in there. The Camel 31 Pontiac right now has just been doing its thing, just laying into the throttle and forgetting about the rest of what's going on. No troubles here, none whatsoever. One thing we're gonna let you know though here tonight, folks, is this is a doubleheader kind of night. So we were feeling kind of special. We were feeling like maybe you don't want just one, well maybe you want 2. So we're bringing you 2 broadcasts here tonight. The first one obviously being here right with our boys here at East Coast Racing Circuit, which will then carry on over into the good friends over at RTC, where we will see RTC tonight. They will be hitting them up. So right now, after that huge lead that was battled in earlier, and now the struggle is kind of starting to continue on for Carter Casey, as we're kind of laying in off for a minute here, letting the producers just kind of doing their own thing and just kind of hanging in here with these guys. Seems as though, and it appears the struggles have been continuing for drivers out here and folks around there, just trying to figure out what's going on and what's going down. Doesn't seem like anything really has been troubling the 5 there, but I think he had to serve off that penalty earlier on, and that's what set him back on the field. And Rick Spencer Wall, literally 5.5 seconds away from the entire run right now. He's just not even giving a hoot right now, who's where and who's what. The only thing he cares about is just trying to get this one to victory lane once again. He's had some bad moments here on the show. He's had some bad luck, but that doesn't seem to be the case here tonight. It seems like he's got this one dialed in here. And if he's got this thing dialed in for the rest of the season, then watch out, because he's a fast guy. And I know there are only a couple races left before the season does come to a close. And then we'll hopefully be able to catch these guys out the next time around. I do know the Truck Series wise, we're still trying to get a little bit more of those in as well. So hopefully when Wednesday night comes around, we will have another race from them. But I will say this though, tomorrow night we will definitely, no way, no how, have Eddie broadcast, no matter if we even get asked, because there's one thing that I will let you know. Tomorrow is going to be my birthday, so I will not be doing any broadcast whatsoever. I'm going to be chilling out at my home with the family and doing some fun here, so. But I will say this though, thank you to everyone that's already given me a happy birthday wish and all that. I do really appreciate it, but just need to make sure we get through tomorrow is all I know, because I don't want to turn the age I am. I'm getting old. Well, at the moment here, currently, about difference in time zones is from either 15 to literally 10 to 20 to pretty much the whole race. Laps-wise, currently, Rick Spencer Wall is just flying by. He's really got a 5-second lead on Carter Casey here, as you see up on the scoreboard here. Hasn't even given him a chance to breathe, much less get his foot off the gas pedal, and off the snake's throat here. Paul Durkee currently 2 laps down, and definitely a little bit aggravated and frustrated, I gotta believe, with his end. I think he was trying to hope and pray for a little bit of a break. Unfortunately, because of that pit road strategy and penalty he had to suffer through, it slowed up all his momentum, slowed up all his time, and seems like he just can't get anything down, unfortunately, and now even more troubles for him. He lets Carter Casey pass by. He does not want to ruin his race. Just can't catch a break down there, man. Doing what he can just to kind of stay out of the way, but also run his race still, but go on board with him. still charging away down there and still powering it in, but currently Rick Spencer Walt, well, he's just, man, I don't know what else to say, guys. Like, he's just not even giving an inch to anybody or anyone. He does not care whatsoever. I think the only thing he cares about right now has just been steady as she goes and put the power in and put everything for full use and just make sure it sticks down in the end. Justin Lawson here in the 20 Black Beauty, another guy that has been fighting hard all season. He's been doing some pretty good runs out there. He's been having some good battles, but admittedly, I haven't really seen, in my opinion, the best of Lawson in a while. I think honestly, this is probably not his track that he was. I think he was looking too much ahead of and too forward to. I think he was more or less just kind of more relaxed on it, just kind of thinking, well, just run. We'll do what we usually do and run our tail ends off around here, but. I think even he thought maybe there was a little bit faster guys out there. But hey, for the battle for third here, staying ahead of Coleman, who currently is about 5 seconds away from him. I'd say he was doing a pretty good job out there. On board here, Brandon Coleman, and you can see this may be a very short track, but it still has a lot of power to it. It still has a lot of momentum. These paperclip tracks still can be a bit of a troublemaker, a bit of a nuisance. But that's the beauty that lies with this track, is that even though there's not much banking, it's still good for those very hard runs and those very quick corners and tight zones. Can be a bit of a demolition derby at times, but you know what I mean, in motorsports sometimes that's not necessarily a bad thing. He goes right into the wall protection there out of turn 4 here on the front straightaway. The struggles for Coleman continues on, and it doesn't look like they're going to end anytime soon here. Back on board here with old Carter Casey here, who is just, I think he's just been trying to figure out where else he can put this thing in and where he can keep rattling the chains up. And he's still pushing, he's still running hard out here. Spencer currently way ahead of the field, only 40 laps left to go in this one. I think this will be probably the longest race we've had from the boys here in a while. This will be just over an hour if they continue through the way they've been doing. Not a bad thing by any means here. They obviously wanting to showcase what they can do out here and how they can run their way through, but the other drivers obviously wanted to try to put on a show and try to put on a battle. I think the first half they definitely did just that. But when they had to go into pit road, unfortunately, it changed up a little bit in the game zone. It kind of changed a little bit more on their runs. See Rick Spencer Wall starting to catch up there to Brandon Coleman there. Coleman right on the front straightaway, and looks like he'll be another victim in the lap traffic situation. Unfortunately, nowhere to go. I will say this though, folks, if you do like these new Super Late Model Division cars and all that, then by every means, that's alright, that's cool and dandy. But I must say though, these things are definitely a handful, and they are going to take some time for me to learn. But I mean, you know what? It's kind of the world of racing for you. Now Coleman finally getting up to Lawson here. The battle rages on. Lawson slowing way up all of a sudden. I'm not sure how much lap time that lost on him here, but well, it looks like about a lot here. That's 2/10, then all of a sudden to a 10th here. And now Lawson lost his line, lost his spot. Coleman makes a big play, and he gets spun around out of turn 2. Oh! Right in front of the race leader too. Rick Spencer once going to get slowed way down now. Manages to get the momentum back in, but oh my. Well, I was just to say, man, I thought that was going to be interesting. Coleman gets a little up tap and a little love from Lawson. I don't know how Coleman managed to save that one as well as he did. Pulled a beautiful power slide on that. But Carter Casey was so far behind. I don't even think Rick needed to worry too much. He's still got almost a 5-second lead on Casey here. Oh my, but that could have ended a disaster by a multitude of reasons. Lawson now having to deal with this mistake there and trying to hopefully pull it back up there with Coleman. Ultimately, will he even have a chance to do it, much less have a try to get it there? Not a lot of breathing room left there, in my opinion, to get that big move, but he's got to fight for it. Gonna bring it back around here out of turn 4. Another opening there from Coleman for Lawson. They take it side by side there, and I think Coleman is trying to get it back. Oh, he gave him a tap back at him for earlier. This time, but it was Lawson who saw that one coming, and he managed to hold him back and keep him back. Oh, maybe not. Oh my goodness. Oh man, you could almost sense that was coming. Lawson, yes, got a little bit of a bump and run there for Coleman, but Coleman backed off on the throttle. They're obviously not trying to spin him intentionally. There was no way how they were trying to spin each other. But at the same time, there was so much runs there that they were just all over the place. It was just a bit crazy to say the least here. And now Coleman, man, he's just all over the place. I think that car is toast. He's a loosey-goosey and a little bit oozy over there. You just can't get that thing to stick. Carter Casey right now has Paul Durkee right behind him here. Durkee trying to possibly make a little bit of a scamper back in it. But with Casey passing him earlier on, that's not going to help him too much in here. Running back in, down out of the corner zone of turn 2, and time is finally falling apart, and time is starting to scatter away and run away from him. I'll tell you one thing though, folks, we've seen some of the battles, some of the runs, some of the action here all the way through, and it's just been a wild, wild night of racing. But it has been a good night of racing. Not taking anything away from anyone out here by any means. This has been some good stuff and some good battles here. Well, we'll see what happens here on the final laps. Casey is going to be catching up ever so slightly up to Coleman. Coleman sees him right behind him, obviously, and now just over 20 laps to go. Coleman's going to do the honorable thing and let Casey go, and maybe, just maybe, have one last little run around to possibly get him in. Question is, will they be able to? Ooh, Durkee a little bit looser out of turn 2 yet again. These guys are just having all sorts of fits down there, just keeping those cars on line. Just over 20 laps to go now, as they pace them around. Durkee currently The Motocraft Ford at number 5, man, that thing has been having struggles all night long. Ever since that bad pit stop, though, it's just been amplified by 3. Because he lost 2 laps down, and the reason why I say 3 is because once he lost 2 laps down, he lost one of his positions as well, which then hurt him. If you do the numbers, you add up 2 plus 1, that equals 3, and he's just not been able to bring it back since. Will he have enough time? Will he have a chance? Coleman, I don't know about Coleman, man. He's just getting so loose off those exits. I'm surprised that car is holding up. If we take a look up front, though, you can see there's a major fin of damage there on that corner fender. You can see that left front tire is actually getting dug into the fender there. And I think that might be what's hurting him a little bit off those exits. He's not having any push there. And without that kind of push, it can send you for a little bit of trouble there. Oh, man. And another bump and run situation, but Durkee managing to get out of it. I think he was braking a little harder than normal, and I don't think Coleman saw it until literally the last minute. And that ended up almost costing him dearly there. Carter Casey still literally 5 seconds behind the field of Rick Spencer Wall. Spencer has just, man, I don't even know what else to say. He lost the lead early, got it back quickly after that pit stop. And then from there, he's just been, well, he's just been playing mind games with these guys for the rest of the time being. Pouring all his momentum, all his power into the car and into the run. Talk about no holds barred action when it comes to the talk about that momentum he carries through. Lawson, though, has a little thing or two to say about it. I think he's caught back up there to Spencer. For a brief moment, anyway, with 15 laps left to go. Can Rick Spencer Wall get himself to victory lane here? He's been doing good about it so far tonight, but again, I have to wonder, did he time the fuel just right? Because again, you have an estimated fuel limit on those counters. But again, that's just an estimate. If you drive it in too hard or drive it in too soft, eventually the oil reserves in there and the engine itself kind of grabs and closes out all that power and all that run that you get, and it ends up actually slowing you down more than it helps you because it's absorbing it all in. Back on board with Durkee right now, and you see Coleman, and the sliding troubles continuing on with only 12 to go. He's just had, I mean, I feel bad for him because he had a good run earlier, and then that little bump and run, yeah, kind of set him off on the wrong path for later. Obviously, by no means was it intentional, but you know, that's kind of the crazy thing that comes in racing sometimes. It's just all it takes is one little bobble, one simple mistake, and your night comes to an end just like that. It's happened before here with these drivers. It's happened before on this show, and we know we have seen it a lot more often than people realize. It's just one of those things you just have to be careful about, because when it comes down to it and it comes back and haunts you, it gets you pretty quickly. Rick is still hammering away, though. He's still got laps to complete, time to complete around it. And Lawson can catch up to him. I think he might have a little bit of a push or so. Going on board here with Carter, though. I think Carter is the one guy right now that is just, I think he's just trying to find anything left in the tank. But again, is there anything that he can possibly do with what that car has given to him? I don't think so. He needs Rick to make a mistake. That's the only thing I can tell him right now. He needs Rick to make a mistake, especially if you look at the lap times right now. Yeah, this isn't even close. Casey is losing time, big time. And with 7 to go now, you can see right here that orange means that Casey's falling back. The green means he's catching Spencer. And this time, though, it looks like Casey will get a little bit of a win column here for the 900ths of a second, but he needs 9/10 of a second right now to get this one possibly close. See what we got here with 6 to go on Casey's end here. You can see Spencer laying down a nice 20.664. This time, no. Whoa, 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 whoa. Justin Lawson comes to a stop. He's got problems down there, and the caution comes out. Uh-oh. Well, that might have just made things a little interesting. And I don't think, if you're in the Carter Casey camp right now, I don't think that was what you wanted to see or hear about. Find out what happened here on the PTM instant replay here. We saw the corner of it. Lawson there, he came out of turn 2. He overdrove that thing hard and slammed the wall, tried to slam the brakes, and Casey nearly about taking himself out there and cost him his entire race. Then you see the red lights flashing around here. That means they had to pull off the stop zone and get this one taken care of here. Well, we do have a minute or two to talk with some drivers that will not be on the position zone here. Paul Durkee will be one of them, so we'll go ahead and have a little word with him here. Paul Durkee, you got a copy, bud?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Hey, Paul, I know it's not been quite the best night for you here tonight. Unfortunately, I believe you had a little bit of pit road issues earlier on. What happened down there?
I locked him up going into the pits. Got a 40-second speeding penalty. Just my own stupidity. But still having a ball.
For sure there. I mean, we all have to do it at some point, though. It's just part of racing, ain't it?
Yeah. Somehow I got to blame it on Coleman for some. It's got to be his fault.
That's one way of looking at it here, but nevertheless, Durkee, great to have you back on board here tonight, man. Hopefully, we'll see you back up in the headers here later on.
Hopefully we're putting on a good show for you.
I think this could get interesting on this last couple laps. I'll just say that much.
Yeah.
All right, see you later, buddy.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Paul Durkee in the number 5 taking the time to chat with us here. Brian Doty and Stephen Naylor right now currently off the track and left alone here at the moment. And I guess we did not actually take our PTM Instant Replay screen off here, so I do apologize in advance for that, folks. The drivers were getting settled back in, though, while you were away. Final laps are brewing, and this now will set up the run of the century, if you will, for Spencer Walt and Carter Casey. And now even think about this for a minute. Brandon Coleman. Yeah, Brandon Coleman earlier on, he was out of it. And now all of a sudden, he's got a chance. Who will take this one home and who will finish this out? That is the question that remains unanswered. We will figure that out this next time by. Lights are going off in the stage and in the field and in the stadium. The track has been known for some hectic and insane finishes. Are we going to get another glimpse of that one here tonight? On the restart, you got to get the field advantage to Spencer. But if Carter Casey can find a way to catch him in turn 3 and 4, this could end up being another night here for Casey. But Spencer wants to end that and try to take this one home for himself. Coleman's not done yet. He has one chance to possibly get himself into victory lane here. They'll pace him around down out of turn 3, down in turn 4. This could be an exciting finish or it could be a hectic one. We don't know. We only know when they get to the restart. Then the green flag flies. We are back underway. 2 to go. Round out of turn 2 here on the start. Casey needs a push. He needs a run on him. Doesn't get it here. He gets close. Turn 3 and 4 leads to the white flag. One more lap to secure victory. Spencer just needs to hold on. Out at turn 2, the best turn of the night in my opinion from him. He got a good run. Casey was right there with him though. And coming out at turn 3, down at turn 4, it's not enough for Casey. Rick Spencer Walt is going to take it home to victory lane here tonight. Managing to hold off the field, and a little up there from Carter Casey. I think he knew what that was all about. What a run and a half there, and Rick, man, he ended up just taking it home and doing everything he had to finish it out. The unofficial results are up on the scoreboard here. And the boys are just gonna have a little celebration and a little fun around here, as they are one to always do. I don't even know what the heck's going on with Paul Turkey right now. I think he's just messing around at pit road, I think. The results are finally in now, folks. We can say clear as day. Here is our final results now on the screen. Rick Spencer Wall takes home the victory. Carter Casey gets a second place finish. Third is going to Brandon Coleman. Fourth to Justin Lawson. Fifth to Paul Durkee. Sixth to Brian Doty. And then finally Stephen Naylor taking home seventh. Due to his unfortunate issues earlier on, costing him a lot of time. And Dawson really any chance he had here tonight. So, but that will pretty much take it down now to our top three finishers here tonight. Let's bring it down with them and have a word with them. First up to the stage, as can be, Brandon Coleman. He now joins me down here in the pit road section. And Brandon, I know that was definitely not what I think you were expecting there on that final few laps there, but hey, a third place finish, man, after the little bump and run you had earlier, that's definitely something for you.
Yeah, man, that was pretty fun. We're just trying to give you a show, and thank God you pulled me. Paul was talking about how he races naked, and we was tired of hearing that.
I have no comment to that other than just it's just usual stuff from you guys. But I'll say this, Brandon. But you were having a pretty good night all night. Do you think maybe at last minute you might have had something for Casey or Spencer?
I think I might have on that last restart. I got into the wall twice, and that kind of messed me up. But it was fun overall, and top three is pretty good.
It is indeed, my man. Well, nevertheless, still top three finish. You gotta say something to the fans out there. What do you want to say to them?
Just want to say appreciate y'all for putting this on.
Sure there. Appreciate you coming on board here, Brandon. Congratulations on the top three finish again, brother.
Thank you.
Brandon Coleman there, a top three finisher here tonight. Now bring it down to our second place finisher here. That will be Mr. Carter Casey, and old Carter Mack now bringing it back in town pit road here. And Carter, I mean, that last restart, it could have gone either way, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was trying to make the car stick, and the tires just didn't respond. And well, as fast as went out there. This isn't my best track, but I felt like I maximized my running spot there at the end, and it was a good battle, but definitely Walt's got to beat.
Definitely there, but you know, at the end of the day, still nothing to sneeze at. Obviously, Martinsville, one of the tougher tracks to really master and take on, and with a whole new look and feel to these super late models, I gotta ask you, what was the big change for you guys that you were fighting through tonight?
The biggest change was the brakes. Thankfully, earlier in the week they fixed the update with the steering wheel being offset. So, but the brakes are a lot different, and it wants to kick out a little bit on entry. So you gotta dial a lot of front brake into it to make it stick. So those were definitely the biggest things there.
Definitely there. Well, that's good, something to kind of know for the drivers and fans at home. I talked about it earlier in the show, but I mean, that's kind of something I think a lot of folks now can understand from a driver's perspective, because you were just in that car. So do appreciate that, Carter Mack, and once again, congratulations on a second place finish. So as always, you know what our rule is around here. What do you want to say to the friends and family or sponsors here tonight, brother?
Just gotta thank everybody for bringing me into the league, like always. Thank PTM for hosting the session, and just thank everybody for racing clean.
Definitely there. Carter, thanks for tuning on in, bud. Second place finisher tonight. Congratulations on that, my man.
All right, appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Carter Mack Casey there, finishing second overall here at Martinsville. And now we bring it down to our race winner here tonight. Oh, the only Canadian of the bunch. But I don't think he minds too much. Being all the way from Canada, our northern friend here, Rick Spencer Wald in the 31. Congratulations on that race win. And I gotta believe you're a little bit sighing of relief after that restart there.
Yeah, yeah. You never want to see a green white checker when you're leading. It usually doesn't work out, but fortunately for us tonight, it did.
It did indeed. I mean, you were fighting hard all day long. You had a lot of good runs and a lot of good battles. But talk me kind of through that last few laps. Or what mentally were you thinking or just feeling in that car when you were going around those laps?
Well, I knew I had a bit of a lead there. I guess Carter had kind of messed up the entry to pit road, and I felt like I got on and off pit road really good. So I knew when I came out and I seen he didn't pass me when I came off pit road, and I figured he would have pitting a lap or two before me also. So when I come off with the lead, I thought I could conserve a bit, and I did. And then I seen I had a bit of a lead there, so I things were getting crazy as you seen. So I just backed off a bit, and I was trying to save a lot of tire in the middle section because I honestly I felt like there's probably going to be a caution. So
Definitely there. I mean, we were seeing it live on the show, man. It could have gone either way at times, the way it was starting to finish up and heat in. But you managed to pull through and managed to keep everything in play and honestly in one piece. So, Rick, I gotta ask you, man, who do you want to thank you for putting this bad boy into victory lane tonight?
I just got to thank the boys for putting the league on like always, and you guys for doing the broadcast stuff. It's awesome. I gotta get a car painted up. I just have this camel car right now, so I'm gonna get something painted up this week. But I also got to thank my baby Jesus for my smoking hot wife.
Sweet Lord, baby Jesus, did you right? Done you good, my friend. But nevertheless, you are taking home victory lane, and I think your wife would be pretty proud of that. So congratulations on your race win, man.
Awesome, thank you.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, your race winner here tonight in Martinsville, Rick Spencer Wald, all the way from Canada. He is crowned the champion here tonight, and that's going to pretty much wrap it up here tonight for East Coast Racing Circuit's main race in the Super Late Model Division. So once again, to everyone at home for tuning on in, thank you so much, as we do appreciate it. And until the green flag flies next time here in just a few short hours, I will see you later on. So for now, be safe. God bless. Take care. If you can't make the show here in a few minutes, just a few hours, thank you again for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying the replay of the YouTube version here in just a few short minutes. If you're on YouTube right now, be sure to like and subscribe here if you would. And again, to everyone at home, thanks again. We'll see you here in a little while. Good night, everybody.